Massive and expensive equipment marks the professional radio station. But in the amateur field, radio parts often include pieces of assorted junk ingeniously assembled by operators who are called hams and who take up broadcasting as a hobby.
Hi, I'm Tom. I have my radio tuned to AM 1630 here on Broadway on the northern edge of Chinatown, about a mile out from downtown. I have my radio tuned to KCHUNG, an all-volunteer-run AM radio station whose signal is only strong enough to reach about 3 square blocks around this building. They just got some great coverage in the New York Times, and now seemed like a great time to come down here and see why something that totally should not have worked has been able to grow into its own cultural force. This is my friend Maxwell Kavinsky. He's been active in the Los Angeles art scene ever since he moved out here from New Mexico. He's been a DJ at KCHUNG since the beginning, so he's the perfect person to talk to understand where KCHUNG's been, where KCHUNG's headed, and everything in between. So he took us upstairs from 587 and showed us around the facilities. KCHUNG was founded by Solomon Bothwell in May 2011. The radio station broadcasts over 100 shows a month. If someone wants a time slot, they are given out on a first-come, first-served basis, regardless of one's capability or radio experience. Each host pays $10 a month to cover operating costs and rent. There are no restrictions on content of radio shows, allowing the hosts or DJs to take their shows in any direction they see fit. Has there been a jump after the New York Times piece?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think anything's changed, except for our more confused identity.
I don't think about it at all, except that it validated me to my parents. I showed it to my parents and they couldn't believe it. But no, I don't feel like I hardly think of it.
So,
but it was great. It was a great thing to happen. It's not like we're trying to become some, major radio station now or something.
So where does KCHUNG go in 2 years, in 5 years?
I think that we've never looked ahead, and that's kind of always been the best part, is that everyone's just here to take part and kind of enjoy it. And there's a little bit of structure, just so we don't fall apart, but I think we try not to plan up our head, right? I mean, am I wrong in that? There are meetings and people talk about big ideas, but rarely are any steps taken towards accomplishing those things just because we don't have the resources or the money yet. We faced situations before where we got kicked out of our basement space and we were just struggling, and we were kind of doing nothing people's studios for a second, but I think it just naturally people want it to happen, so the energy will just make that happen.
It's at the point where it can kind of propel itself.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, people listen to it too much that they would be bummed out, like they would make it happen.
What does Los Angeles gain by having KCHUNG?
Well, it gains, KCHUNG when it was really in the early days of it, I always think about how it was interesting. We would come and do our shows, and if we went in to see how many people were listening online, at least, there was nobody in there. But we were all there, and once you get enough people on something together, they sort of can just be their own audience till someone wants to listen. And radio is so egalitarian, you know, we don't really put restrictions on what people can do or can't do on the radio. So people feel really a sense of entitlement and freedom, and you know, that generates ultimately a lot of good content.
I mean, there are a lot of times when we will go to Amoeba and just buy a bunch of stuff from the 50 cent bin and kind of sort through it as we are playing it on the show. They're usually horrible train wrecks, but it's still fun to try to like listen to music as you hear it for the first time.
Wow. So you like DJ on the fly?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Improvise.
Max, thanks for showing us around. That was awesome. And really quick, how can people, what's the website one more time for KCHUNG?
www.kchungradio.org.
And for those that may be interested, there's a link below the video. Click on that and kchungradio.org. And with that, I'll say thanks one more time.
Good seeing you.
See you around.
No wonder the Mulligans are thrilled. Through the genius of little Jimmy, they hear a man speak in far-off China.
In Chinese, that means that's all for the night, folks.
Yeah, good night.